It's hard to imagine the living hell of being entombed hundreds of metres underground. But that's the fate of 33 workers tonight, trapped in a copper mine in Chile. Early last month, the roof of their mine collapsed, and ever since, the men have been living side by side, in the dark, with limited supplies and no hope of a quick rescue. Hundreds of people are working around the clock to keep the miners alive and eventually to free them sometime around Christmas. And right in the thick of it all is a team of Australians who have the technical know-how to make it happen. It's one of the world's most extreme landscapes. Blistering hot in daytime, freezing at night, and officially the driest place on Earth. The Atacama Desert in northern Chile. Surviving on the surface is almost impossible, let alone beneath it. But at this very moment, these men are doing just that. 33 copper miners entombed 700 metres below ground, enduring day after desperate day, as they await a rescue that may still be months away.
I'm very confident that they're going to come out. I don't think there's any risk or danger that they can't come out. It's just going through that roller coaster of waiting.
Waiting is now ritual for the families of the trapped miners, as this marathon rescue mission makes its slow progress. And from the start, they've placed their hope and faith in the hands of one man.
As soon as the hammer hits ground, the bit gets pushed back.
Australian drilling expert, Kelvin Brown.
Speaking to a group of people in that situation and trying to offer them some hope and tell them I'll do everything I can, the team will do everything they can, but they just look right through me.
"5 weeks ago to the day, the earth around here shook violently. It wasn't an earthquake, it was a massive cave-in. Deep below me, tons of earth and rock collapsed on the tunnel where the miners were digging. In that moment, 33 men were buried alive.
The humidity will be high. It'll be a little bit unpleasant. It'll be 30 degrees down there at the level that they're at. They work in it. Now they're living in it. But I hope they're coping.
They're doing everything in it."
Yeah,
I would put it quite frankly.
Yeah, there is no escape.
Not knowing if the miners had even survived, the Chilean government mounted a massive rescue operation. Half a world away in Perth, Kelvin Brown, who manages Reflex Instruments, received an SOS call. They needed his specialist drills and expertise. 30 hours later, he arrived to face the expectations of a devastated community.
I wasn't prepared for it. The sheer number of people and the mood, you could feel it as well as see it. The children, the adults, brothers and sisters, it's very sad, sombre. A lot of people looking down at the ground, looking into you, and that happened every day.
Many of the families have been here since the cave-in happened, holding vigil at a makeshift campsite. At 63, Lillian Gomez's husband Mario is the oldest of the trapped miners. And Lillian's fears for his safety are mixed with anger.
I'm angry because the company knew. They knew how dangerous the mine was. Even my husband knew. But he had to do it. He needed to.
So your husband knew there were problems, he knew that there were risks down there, but he had to keep on mining to earn an income.
He needed to, because when you are 63 years old, there are no other work opportunities.
As their loved ones prayed, the drills inched deeper. Days passed with no sound or sign from Mario and his workmates. At the mine head, Kelvin feared the worst.
It looked a little bit hopeless, I've got to admit. After several days, it did start to weigh on me quite heavily, and I thought, the best I can offer these people is death.
But far below, trapped in a chamber 100 metres long and 5 metres wide, the men were alive, and they were determined to survive. sharing the barest of rations and collecting trickles of water from the rock walls. 700 metres down, they'd been cut off in a side tunnel of the mine's main winding shaft. Kelvin and 2 other teams were drilling hell for leather, hoping for a miracle.
I honestly gave them no chance.
And then it came. On day 17, one of the drill heads pierced the chamber where the men were trapped. Contact at last.
This would have been the first thing that those 33 guys saw just after a lot of noise.
Seriously?
The very first thing they would have seen.
So this is bashed right through the final bit of rock and into the cavity where they're trapped, and that's what they're looking at.
Absolutely, that's almost as good looking as their mother. They'd be very happy to see this.
Happy and quick thinking. Not only did the miners tap on the drill head to alert the rescuers, they managed to attach a scribbled note before it was yanked back to the surface.
To find out that all 33 were alive, it's very hard to put that into words. I guess ecstatic, crazy. Things just went absolutely crazy.
Here they come.
There it is.
It was a moment of celebration Australians could well relate to. Todd Russell and Brant Webb more than anyone. In April 2006, they survived the Beaconsfield mine disaster, trapped almost a kilometre underground, emerging to an ecstatic reception after 2 weeks.
Even with what you experienced, can you imagine being trapped for months on end?
Oh, look, 14 days, for us was a long time. These guys they've got 4 months of entrapment.
My first thoughts were despair when the rockfall happened to us. Was actually total despair, like this can't be happening to me. And, and these guys would have felt the same thing. They would have went through despair. And then your mindset changes to, how can I get out of here? I've got to get out.
But what's your single best message for those miners?
Stay positive, rely on each other, talk to each other, listen to each other, and that'll help them through it.
And staying healthy physically and mentally is just what the Chilean miners are trying to do. Thanks to Kelvin's drilling skills, they're getting food and other basic essentials.
That's their lifelines, right?
Absolutely. There's a telephone cable running down one. There's food and water and supplies being taken up and down the other one, and oxygen being pumped in also.
And there's even a few luxuries, like a video feed to watch their national soccer team compete. But make no mistake, this is no hotel, and there's a long way to go.
How deep are we now?
From the surface, about 300 metres.
To get just some idea of their conditions, Kelvin took me underground at a neighbouring mine.
Can you imagine being stuck down here for 4 or 5 months?
Regrettably, yeah, I can. I've got to be honest with you, Mike. I probably really don't like working down here and being down here for a full day, but to spend months down here, yeah, it'd be tough, real tough.
And it's claustrophobic, it's dark, you literally do feel like you're entombed.
Yeah, and there's nothing changing. It's the same. You can't look at the clouds fly over above or anything like that. It's the same.
The rescuers are advancing as fast as they dare.
It's hard, it's competent, it's solid. That equals slow.
This is real solid rock that you're drilling straight into.
Absolutely, Mike, without a doubt.
The first tiny drill hole that reached the miners must be widened enough to winch out a grown man.
It's at that size now.
About there.
Get your shoulders through, yeah.
Enough to get him out.
Yeah, look, it's going to be very interesting to see how quick it takes to physically move 33 guys up there. And I think they might find that they might be pulling one person up and there'll be 32 hanging off his toes.
Everyone everywhere is praying for a happy ending, just like Beaconsfield. But Brant and Todd know that even if the miners come out alive, it may not be the end of their ordeal.
After the accident, when I got out, I was suffering post-traumatic stress pretty bad, and I got to the stage where my family were prepared to walk away and leave me. And
what were you being like? How would you describe yourself?
Oh, nasty. very edgy.
Given what you've gone through, it's pretty understandable.
Yeah, look, we went through a pretty horrific ordeal, and we come out reasonably healthy.
OK, let's get a shot of this now. The miners who were trapped, for the miners who still are trapped. Count of three. One,
Todd and
two,
Brant's survival
three.
offers hope for the Chilean miners. So the boys are sending their support for the dark days that lie ahead.
So hopefully this will give them a bit of inspiration, show that they can get out.
Yeah, I think the guys need, they've got to live hope,
To all of our
Morning, mates. Our thoughts are with you in times of crisis. They've got hopes and they've got dreams. Their dream is very short term, it's to get out. That's what ours was, right? And their hope would be to reunite with their families.
Felipe, it's pretty obvious that faith is very important to these people.
Yes, actually it is. Obviously all the families of these 33 miners trapped down in the mine.
Back in Chile, Felipe Silva is our trusted courier, the man who'll ensure Todd and Brant's message travels 700 metres underground, directly into the hands of the miners.
Yes.
They've written a note that they'd love to have delivered to the miners in there, and a photo of themselves on the surface, so maybe a bit of inspiration.
Absolutely.
We'd love it if you can deliver that for us to the miners down the tube. Do you mind doing that?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
For those who wait, like Lillian Gomez, the joy of learning their loved ones are alive has been short-lived.
Querida Lila,
Dear Lila, I thank God I'm well. I hope to get out soon.
Until she can hold her husband in her arms, she passes the cold nights reading and rereading his letter sent from deep below, like a lifeline.
Kiss all my daughters and grandchildren for me. Tell them that I love them and they should stay calm.
When you finally see him, when he's brought to the surface, what will you say to him?
Well, the first thing I will tell him is no more mines. And when we got married, it was only in a civil ceremony. Now, I want to formalize our relationship in the eyes of the Catholic Church.
And so the drills grind on, and the wait continues. It could well be Christmas before these families see their men again. And when they do, it'll be a moment treasured by the rescuers, none more so than Kelvin Brown.
I used to drill for, precious ore, precious metals, not for life.
And what a result. You struck gold.
Literally, mate, human gold, human gold.
When you could never have thought that all those years drilling in the dirt in Western Australia would help you save 33 men trapped underground in Chile.
Mate, absolutely not. I would have never bet on it, put it that way.
It was a big story, right? Just a lot of chaos.
The John Benet Ramsey murder.
They made up their mind on day one that I killed my daughter.
3 decades on,
You can't comprehend that anybody would be that evil.
it's still unsolved.
Law enforcement never opened that door.
But now detectives are doing what they should have done in the first place.
There was no doubt in your mind that a stun gun was used.
I was about as sure as I could be.
Following the evidence.
You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes. This is what we call a clue.
Find the killer, take that burden off of my father.
Yes, it's been a long time in coming.